Shouldn't it be off the stop by now? Oh, crap. Chris Bracey and Ryan Giacone. Bracey on the left side in that 1967 Camaro. Ryan in the 88 Thunderbird. That baby's all Ford, by the way, too. So we actually have a Ford versus Chevy battle going on here. I don't know, battle. I mean, who'd want to get in a battle with Chris Bracey? She's like such a sweet lady. Red light start. Chris Bracey won the race to the red. She's minus 005. Ryan is minus 002. That's one of those really hurts when you see the time slip. It's like, all I had to do was nothing on it. Would have won. Would have won. 689, 118 miles an hour for Ryan. 690 for Chris. Both set up a little bit hot to the 8th mile clocks. Wade Samuel left, Dave Thompson right. As we go to that slam down. That thing's got a license plate on it. I don't know if it's got a current tag on it or not, but car out of Colorado. I've seen cars like crazier than that running around on the streets in Colorado. What's the guy's name with the 1949 Plymouth? Colorado. Races it in super gas and drives it on the street. Huh? Oh, okay. The Plymouth has been made into Coors cans. That's a shame. That was a cool car. And another red light start, this time by 0.07 of a second. Red light left side, win light right side. Pennzoil board, 695, 6.955 for Dave Thompson. Show off, 113 miles an hour. 691, 117 for Wade Samuel. And our final car in category, Trevor Larson. Going to take the solo run, and we will be down to the final four. Trevor trying to pay for that motor he blowed up earlier in the weekend, and like Cinderella once said at 11:59, so far so good. Trevor's having a burn down with himself. Low 14 hit at the 3, throttle stop on and off, and 697. And 123 miles an hour. And stock eliminators pulling forward. Super comp. Oh, attention to the pit. Super comp. Come on, need you to lane. Super street or super stock. Super stock. Let's come this way as well. Super comp and super stock. To the lanes, please. And we have 6 cars left. The photo lady against the cop. So she makes a living taking pictures, and how many times do you think he said, "Put that camera away"? Just had a flashback to the time that the lady about had a heart attack when Nate went, "No photos." It's kind of funny, but you had to be there. Let's see, we got Chevy, we got Dodge, and then we got Ford and Pontiac. Chris Ashley's dialed in 734. She's going to go first. Mike Williams is going to wait 0.4 of a second. And then he's going to go second. Didn't we go over this last night? Yeah. If Mike Williams holds a trophy at the end of the day, he will tie Steve Wan, and it'll come down to a tiebreaker. Not going to matter now. The red light's on, and the red Camaro is gone, and Steve Wan, order 71. I think menu would you have there? What do you have? I'll have the number 71, please. 736, 91 miles an hour for the photo lady for the win. 027 red for Williams. And then, of course, he runs dead on 4 because that's tradition. If you go red, you run dead on your predicted dial. Final call, Super Comp. Super Stock, I need you to lanes, please. Super Stock to the lanes. John Dorley on the left side. Dwayne Scheitlen on the right side. Double A automatic versus A automatic. A high country Hemi versus a 6-pack 440. Winner goes to the final. Red light start for John Dorley, and he was red by 0.04 of a second. Dwayne Scheitlen threw a 4-pack right in his lap. Come and get you some of this. Trip, zip, dead 4. So John Dorley was red. If he'd have been 005 green, he'd have been locked out of the race. Dwayne Scheitlen is playing a whole lot of mean here this morning, and he'll have a free time run on the way to the final. Winner of this one gets to run the photo lady. Either C.W. Hofer, where is Sasha anyway, or Gary Emmons. The Emmons boys, what Gary's basically doing right now is extending the Vegas vacation, because as long as he keeps winning, they don't have to go home, and Speedy has to run the dealership all by himself. I mean, all by himself. He's in there, like mopping the floor and vacuuming things and cleaning the bathroom and unlocking the gate, doing oil changes. He's the only one there, doing everything. Making hot chocolate. Whoa, a big move to the right down there for C.W. Hofer. He fights and keeps it back in his lane, but that should open the door for Gary, and it does. 584 at 108 miles an hour. C.W. Hofer's car stood up and hung a right. So Gary Emmons is going to race the photo lady. The winner races Dwayne Scheitlen, as we are in our final 3. Super Stock, need you to the lanes, please. Come on down, Super Stock to the lanes. All 12 of yous. Super Comp, let's pull forward. Time to race. All right, final call. Attention to pits. Final call. Super stock. Top dragster. Come on down. Top dragster, need you to the lanes, please. Blake Williams and Mike Lane rolling up as we are ready to go in Super Comp. Top dragster, to the lanes, please. Steve Kasner has already advanced, as he was the last car down the track last night. And the winner of this one's going to run the Kazman later on in the day. Gently rolling into the beams, 575, the 8th mile index. Red light start for Blake Williams. By 1/100th of a second, he goes red. 577, 137 for Blake, 579, 133 for Mike Lane, but that race was over. 1/100th of a second before its scheduled start time, as soon as that red light came on. I was pretty sure we had more than one pair.
Should have 5.
And now they come rolling up to the ready line. Lori Warden and Chris Vang going to face off here. Chris Vang looks like he's breaking in tires for Derek. Trying to battle our way into the quarterfinals. Top dragster, need you to the lanes. Super stock, need you to pull forward, please. I think I might have forgot Super Gas. Super Gas, come on down. We need you to the lanes, please. Super Gas to the lanes. I think I forgot Super Gas. I'm sorry about that, Super Gas. Come on. Come on, come on. $576 for the win. Lori Warden, $574 for Chris Vang. Lori Warden's 006 gave up the stripe a thou, but she had the reaction advantage, and that played into her favor as Chris Van got there first by 1 thou, broke out by 9 thou. And Team Warden advances Ryan Diestato and Tom Bear. Yeah, Super Gas, come on down. I can't believe I forgot Super Gas. I feel awful about that. I might not get over that until... Ooh, donuts. Fortunately for the Super Gassers, the Super Comp cars are going to take so much time staging, they'll have plenty of time to get here and get ready to go. Plenty of time. Reaction time is a 2 thou coin flip. Look at the womp, womp, womp win. 578, 127 miles an hour for Tom Bear. Diestato goes 585. He's a 10th back of the dial, and yeah, you're not going to beat Tom Bear like that. It's fun watching 8th mile racing because you just watch the scoop and you can see the womps when the scoop goes back and forth. A little harder to pick out when they're 1,320 feet away. Mike Cornelius now in the left side, Jack Sadler on the right. .75 for the win, 134 miles an hour for Jack Sadler. Mike Cornelius goes 577. Not good enough at 135 miles per. And apparently Russ Stevenson either heard something yesterday or decided to head home because he should be in the left lane and he's not. Tim Parker should be in the right lane, and why, look, there he is. Yeah. The tailwind will help the mileage of the toter home. .577, 144 the speed for Tim. And here comes Steve Kasner. His run from last night was deleted. It did not count. It was annulled. Yes, you can annul in Vegas. How about Louis Bloom getting married in Vegas? Yeah, how about Louis Bloom getting married, period? 577, 148 miles an hour for the Casman. We got Super Stock pulling up under the arch. Super Gas. Attention, Pip. Super Gas. Need you. And Top Dragster. Need you. Nah, really happy for Lewis and Mona. I think that's awesome. I'm actually happier for Lewis than I am for Mona, but... So Brad Sweet won the World of Outlaws Championship, huh? Way to go, Brad. All right, we're ready to go in super stock. Tom Ferrugia and John Irving. Ferrugia with the TMR license plate. Phil Mandela Racing, 427 powered, 13. Copo Camaro and John Irving in the Duster. Final call, Super Gas. Attention to the pits. Final call, Super Gas. Ferrugia rolls through the beam and lights his red light, punches his own exit slip here at the strip at LVMS. There'll be no time on the board because he left before the tree was activated. 6.702, 100 miles an hour for Irving, who had won that race before he even moved. Nice when you win before you move. Like, you want to move? Nope. I just want to sit here and win. That's my plan. Randy Logie. The Lemon Twister. Jim Grossi. The Achieva. Jim Grossi trying to close him out down the finish line stripe. Watch the wind light. It says Pennzoil side. Man, Grossi was really pushing over the center line down there, but keeps it on his side. 588 for the win. 2 above the dial. Randy Logie runs dead on 7. Came up 1 thou short. Brings up Glenn Snoo and Justin Lamb. Snow Performance against Silver State, Madcap, Goodyear. The engine builder on one side, the analyst on the other. The handicap to the left lane, both drivers away on the green. Hunting down to that 8-mile finish line stripe. It's going to be a breakout for Glenn Snow, but he was late and it cost him. Justin Lamb, 565, getting there first by 0.03 of a second for the win. Glenn Snow crossed the finish line second, ran 8 thou too quick, could not overcome an 0.59. Reaction time, Todd Haste in the left side. GTM automatic, Larry McClanahan on the right side. A 1 second plus head start. You don't see a ton of those in 8th mile racing. Spun the tires. The Mustang spun the tire pretty hard. He pulled it back in the center of the groove, but there's going to be no catching Todd Haste. 686 at 93 miles an hour. Larry was 040 on the bulb and then spinny the wheels. And it cost him. Well, that and the fact that Todd Haste ran 686. John Calvert now in his Super Stock B, and Mike Logie. It's all orange cars all the time. The 340 powered CUDA out of Apple Transport. And John Calvert, the CEO, Calvert Racing, et al. Solid head start out there for Mike Logie. Calvert closing, no, can't get there. 7:15 on the 7:14 prediction, 92 miles an hour, 576, 127 for John Calvert, and even a 007 light couldn't help him get there. Super Gas, let's get them matched up and pulled forward, please. Super Gas, come on down. Looks like the top dragsters are all loaded in there as well. Jimmy DeFrank left. Jason DeLon right. The Volare and the Cobalt. stripe, Jimmy D. 580, 114 miles an hour, and Team California car cover is marching on. 639, 105 miles an hour for Jake. That's that. We got Super Gas rolling up under the arch. Bob's still playing secretary. You want to play announcer? I'm going to turn the microphone over to Nate Hershey. We roll on through the next couple of classes. Top dragster, you should be in the lanes.
So as Alan said, we should have top dragster headed into the staging lanes as Super Gas makes their way out from under the arch and into the water box. We put that 635 index up on the scoreboard as our first two are going to be Don Anderson and Daryl Mitchell. Mitchell over on the left side. The topless Cavalier out of Thousand Oaks, California, and Don Anderson. Coming in out of Twin Falls, Idaho. Rolling down for what was, as Alan had said, is the final day here of NHRA Drag Racing, the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series for the 2020 season. I gotta say, I kind of think, or kind of wonder, how many people are like, all right, it is the last day. We'll put 2020 behind us. We'll look forward to 2021. A lot of folks obviously don't want to see that happen until they wrap their hands around the final Wally of the year. And well, Super Gas is doing what everybody else has done. Again, making our way through what is a brisk and blustery day here at the Strip of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Don Anderson has found the stage at bulbs. Daryl Mitchell rolls up, joins in there. We turn him loose, just like this. And with the two topless rides making their way down the racetrack, winner is going to be Daryl Mitchell. Goes right on the index. How about 008 and dead on 2? A windy day, and Daryl Mitchell does his job very well at this end of the racetrack to get the win light. Don Anderson had a 40 bulb. Getting there second, breaks it out 633 on the 635, but Daryl Mitchell figured it out. 635 on the 635 for Daryl to pick up the first win and make his way into the quarterfinals of Super Gas is now Steve Williams and Paul Weekman. Weekman on the right side in the Corvette. Steve Williams, his 63 replica topless Corvette. Today is one of those days where everybody's like, you know, a roof and some windows would be really nice right about now. A roof and some windows would be great. Something. Red light start for Weekman, and that car just kind of quit. It lurched off the starting line and went kapooh, as he is just going to kind of limp his way down there. Missed the tree by 0.004 of a second. Steve Williams, 0.41 on the bulb, and then goes 6.36 on the 635, picking up the win light and advancing. So it will be Williams coming back to take on Gary Cook a little bit later. We'll see him make his solo shot. But we do have one of our pairs kind of predetermined, is now Marco Paravalaris and Darren Dolezal. Waiting on Weekman to clear the top end of the racetrack before we turn our next two loose. Marco here on the right side, and again, I kind of saw the same little notice out there on the social media pages. It's got a whole lot of folks excited. And that is in the Paravalaris crew. Hey, we're going to see another driver that'll be making her way down the racetrack next year. Miss Lella will get behind the wheel, and we're all kind of looking forward to that. Looks like we've got some attention that needs to be paid up at the top end of the racetrack as our safety team will roll out from the top end. I think, Ron, what was that we're looking for? We're looking for Sportsman Motorcycle, and what else out there? Top Sportsman. Top Sportsman and Sportsman Motorcycle. Top Sportsman and Sportsman Motorcycle. We're going to get you headed this direction, please, to get you paired up and ready to roll. Comp Eliminator will take you. So Top Sportsman, Sportsman Motorcycle, and Comp Eliminator. We can get you headed back this direction. That would be fantastic. And it looks like, unfortunately, on that right side of the racetrack where Weekman was running, they may have found something. Actually, maybe it's over on the left side. As we can see things kind of playing out down on the racetrack. So it might have been something underneath the Williams' car.
Howdy. DMP awnings. Let me just say that again. DMP awnings. I have them everywhere I go. There's one following me around now. You can't see it, but it's up there. I'm probably going to have one tonight if the girl... God bless y'all and DMP awnings.
Ugh, what is that light? It looks like an exclamation point. That's your tire pressure monitoring system letting you know that one or more of your tires does not have proper air pressure. Did you know that for every 10-degree temperature change, your tire can fluctuate 1 to 2 psi? Stop by any of our 11 Ted Weens locations and get a free air pressure check today.
Crew Chief Pro is drag racing's most respected ET prediction and electronic logbook software. Since 1989, Don Higgins and his team have constantly refined Crew Chief Pro software to help racers with these important features: ET predictions, throttle stop predictions, race analysis, weather analysis, and opponent analysis. They integrate with RacePack data acquisition systems, Timeslip Simulator, and 1320 Go software, and with all performance weather stations. In addition, Crew Chief Pro carries the finest racing weather stations on the market today, alerting you via text or pager and delivering you with up-to-the-minute data critical to making the best decisions on the track. NHRA World Champions use Crew Chief Pro software and systems. Why shouldn't you? Find out more today by checking them out online at www.crewchiefpro.com.
Welded 16,000 series fuel pumps equal big, badass car power. With 250 and 420 gallon per hour models, you'll never worry about fuel supply again. An aerospace Teflon seal, stainless valve seat, and 10-vein steel pump element gives precise, controlled, and reliable flow. And a built-in adjustable relief valve provides stable pressure under the most demanding conditions, pass after pass. Finally, a car pump that's worth what you pay.
Racers, when it is time for your next race trailer, built the way you want without compromise, look no further than Vintage Trailers. Troy Stone and the entire Vintage team has been in the custom race car trailer business for over 27 years, and for over 22 years racing alongside you using the products they build and sell. Vintage Trailers can put you in exactly the right equipment, whether it's with living quarters, bath facilities, traditional rig, or a stacker, with over 24 designs in-house or built to your specifications. No matter what the need for you, your team, or your entire race operation, Vintage Trailers has what you need. Just look for the slime green rig at the next race to see the quality, vintage manufactured custom stacker, or check them out on the web at vintagetrailers.com. Vintage Trailers, quality by design.
Hey y'all!
Emily Volkman here from Service Department Solutions to talk to you automotive dealership principals, service, and parts managers. Service Department Solutions is an automotive consulting group who can help you maximize your service and parts operations and your bottom line. We will submit a factory warranty request to your OEM for reimbursement of labor and parts markup according to your individual state statutes. We've dealt with all manufacturers and know how they will treat you. No dealership is too big or small. We handle them all. Maybe your guys need a little extra training and some new processes implemented. We've got them and can provide that extra push to help your winning team. Stop by the
So the top end of the racetrack is clear. Marco and Darren have once again assumed the position on the starting line, and away we go. A 2-for-1 run. Marco LODRS having to do a little bit of driving and will make it out of the round on a double breakout. 6:34 on a 6:35. He's under 9 thousandths of a second. Darren Dolezal ends up with a 6:31 on the 6:35 index. Darren had the 0:36 light. That was 34 thousandths of a second slower than Marco's 0:02. So Marco continues his advance through the super gas category. Is now Davey Adams and Joe Fisher will be our next two. Fisher in the new school topless Corvette out of Clayton, Ohio. And Davey Adams in the 95 bodied Mercedes. Davey Adams lights it red by 5 thousandths of a second. Joe Fisher will advance. Fisher was 30 on the tree and goes 6:33 at 130 miles an hour. Davey Adams, after being red at 5 thousandths of a second, goes 6:28 on the 6:35. And Fisher will come back to take on Darrell Mitchell. Gary Cook taking the bye run here as that Fisher and Mitchell matchup will be a 2-for-1. Gary Cook, away we go. Cook's smoking and moving around and wiggling, and he goes 6:46 at 113 miles an hour. So Cook gets that final win line in super gas, and Top Dragster has come to life here under the arch, as is going to be game on. So again, Comp Eliminator, Top Sportsman, Sportsman Motorcycle should have you back in the staging lanes, please, ready to go for your next round. As the dragsters of Ken Moses out of New Jersey and Geneva out of California. Put a little heat in the tires. Geneva on the right side of the racetrack for the Gambler, selected as best appearing here this weekend. Begins to back up from the burnout. Right lane scoreboard on Geneva's side says she is going to be dialed in at 4.06 seconds. Ken Moses and a New Jersey opposite lane dialed in at 4.38 seconds, and Miss Geneva backing up very carefully from the burnout, making sure that she is pointed in the right direction. Still kind of making her way back here slowly, gently, and carefully. Now Ken and Geneva have both made it back. We'll start the stage process and we will get Top Dragster officially underway. I do see a good handful of our Sportsman motorcycles have made their way back. Comp Eliminator, you should be headed back this direction. And Still looking to see if we see any top sportsmen back there in the staging lanes just yet. I see a couple. So Geneva and Ken, both have pre-staged. Now Geneva's staged. Ken's there. Go! Geneva goes red. Ken Moses makes a hard move to the right side of the racetrack. Jumps out of the 4.0 on the 4:38 as Ken wisely looks up, sees that the win light was already on. As Geneva Nash, after she was red 14 thousandths of a second, goes 4.87 on the 4:06. That'll bring out Ed Olpen and James Warden. Warden, who's putting the big heavy burnout down the racetrack, comes back now. 3.98 seconds is the dial for James. On the left side, and for Ed Olpen. Coming down out of Pleasant Grove, Utah. He is looking at that 4.29 second dial. So the head start will belong to Ed. We'll go through our regular staging process. James will light up the first bulb. Ed will roll in, light up both, and then we'll go from there. So the majority of the stage process is done. Ed's gone in and lit up his bulb. There's James. And down to the finish line, win light will turn on for Ed Olpen. Olpen was 19 green. James Gordon had missed the tree by 1 thousandth of a second. 001 on the red side and goes 4:01. Got there first, but it was all for naught. As unfortunately, with that 001 red light, hands the win over to Ed Olpen. Olpen moves on. We'll be back in the quarterfinals of Top Dragster as now Taylor Vetter and Jeff Havens will come back from the burnout. Miss Taylor, part of that Plan B Motorsports team, graduate of the junior program, and talk about like Taylor and Justin and Chad, Cody, and all graduates of that same era, that same generation of junior drivers that have now taken over the wheel of the bigger cars. And Jeff Havens out of Harold, Washington. That Sarmento ride with 582 cubic inches. Havens dialed in at 441, going to get the head start over Taylor Vetters. 4 flat dial in. And here we go. Jeff Havens goes 461 at 125 miles an hour. Taylor Vetter hit the tree. The tires shook. She got out of the throttle and just kind of slowly climb her way through the shutdown area. But Jeff Havens was 19 green. He had to back out of the throttle as well. Gets there first, gets the win light, is now Michaelin Raleigh and Steve Hamilton will be next. Hamilton's got kind of the new wrap on the car, got kind of a new look, new feel. It still says snacks for Steve Hamilton on the driver's side. 452 the dial in for Steve Hamilton. He will get the head start over Michael Lynn. Dialed in down in that 3-second zone. on this 8-mile run. 3.98 seconds, the full dial for Michael Lynn. We've got him in, set up, and ready. Great start for Steve Hamilton. Steve will end up running 5:38 at 91 miles an hour. Michael Lynn Raleigh had the 0:38 reaction time. And then goes 5:47 on the 398. Michael Lynn looking up, seeing that the wind light was on her side, and said, we're good. Go ahead and just kind of gently leg it out. And call it done is now Brianna Weems and Mark Simmons. He's waiting as Michael Lynn climbs her way up there to about the short chute and is trying to make the turn. Looks like she may come up just a little bit short. So we are going to need to send a little help out there on the racetrack to get Michael in. Off the top end. So we got the quads out on the track. They are going to get Michael Lynn hooked up. Get her pushed off the top end, and we will continue on with Brianna Weems. Mark Simmons getting down towards the end of our top dragster ranks. Sportsman Motorcycle has found their way here. And I believe Comp Eliminator and Top Sportsman are getting lined up back in the staging lanes right behind them. So with the top end clear, word goes back out for Brianna and Mark to fire them back up. I gotta tell you, that Pollard bike is one clean looking ride. Just saying. So Mark Simmons with a 402 dial. Brianna Weems with a 428 dial. Little Las Vegas, Nevada versus Medicine Hat, Alberta. Check that out. Brianna Weems was trip, zip, perfect in reaction time. Mark Simmons had an 017 light. Brianna runs 430 on a 428. Mark Simmons runs 402 on a 402, and Mark Simmons with a 20 thou package gets to the stripe first by 7 thousandths of a second to light up the scoreboard. Brianna with that perfect reaction time ended up 27 thou above the dial, was 27 total, and Mark Simmons with that 20 light, or that 20 package, gets the job done and will move on. So it's going to be Simmons versus Hepton. It's going to be Raleigh, or Michael Lynn Raleigh versus Ken Moses. We'll see how the rest of everybody lines up. So is Don Sefton going to be taking on Kenny Upton here? Upton in the parkour ride, dialed in at 424. Sefton dialed in at 437. Head start goes to the left lane as we're in set and advantage of the tree to the left side of the racetrack for Don Sefton. His 038 light got him out of there first. Kenny Upton had the 062. Upton on a double breakout gets to the stripe first and breaks out by more. 419 on a 424. Kenny Upton is done. Don Sefton gets the win light as now Gene Heaton gets the solo shot here at the end. And I was pretty much just kind of informed by our staging lane crew that we pretty much come down to the point where you're in. It's pretty much all winners, all classes. So as soon as you get them, I think the cool-off factor is not going to be part of it. So the chill part of the chill and fill should happen rather quickly. It's the fill part, it's the charge part, and as soon as you got them ready, we'll start bringing you back. Gene Heaton on a 443 dial goes 443 after he was 12 on the tree. So a 0-12 reaction time for Gene. Dead on 9 down the racetrack. And that will take us from Top Dragster to Sportsman Motorcycle, round number whatever this is. 3. We have 5 bikes. We have 6 names. And
Remember Joe.
so there you go. It's motorcycle time. Oh, here we go. So with unfortunately, it looks like Clay Pollitt rolls up into the water box and could not get the bike to fire. So Cameron Belisle is going to get the solo shot. Dialed in at 576. Goes 579 at 117 miles an hour, but Clay Pollitt, pushed the bike all the way up there. Got the rear tire in the water and then nothing. That is enough to make you say a whole bunch of bad words and then some more. Cameron Belisle gets the win light, moves on. It looks like we are going to get ourselves a little pair going here between Donnie Durenberger and Kahea Woods. Kahea, who is your outgoing D7 champ, multiple-time track champ here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, lining up left side with a 544 dial, and Donnie Durenberger coming in out of Dayton, Minnesota. I'm always wondering if for the guys like from Medicine Hat and Minnesota and all that kind of stuff, they're looking at this morning going, shorts, tank top, it's comfortable out there. What should I wear? Out of the gate we go. Both drivers leave green. Kahea Woods starts to make a move outside the groove and swings it back in. Goes 552 and not going to be enough as Donnie Durenberger with a 131 reaction time goes 6:33 on the 6:28 and gets to the stripe first by 13 ten-thousandths of a second. And an all-Minnesota semifinal. There you go. What's happening, Mr. Russo? I know we've got several folks that are listening in from around the country. Yeah, Mr. Boo Boo. I dig Mr. Boo Boo. He sends me pictures of all the good Cajun food that he eats, and then I pick up my burger and wish that I was eating Cajun food. Larry Moto on the solo shot. Is Leo Shaver going to be a no-show? Moto goes 5.605 on a 562 dial. And then that's going to be that. We bring out competition eliminator into the semifinals, and that is one of those things where, I don't know, there's a possibility that my wife and I may make a little vacation in February. We might be headed down maybe to Jamaica for a little while, something like that. And I was looking at kind of ways to get there, and one of those ways might be to make a stop in New Orleans for a couple hours, maybe a day. Maybe we're going to have to just make the stop in New Orleans, grab a rental car, shoot out into the bayou a little bit, and say hi to Mr. Boo Boo. He may want to come into New Orleans as well, but I'm just saying, I think if we... Let's just go play. Let's just go play. Because I'm telling you, I love the food in New Orleans, but I found out that you get about an hour outside New Orleans, the food gets even better. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The food gets even better. We get out there into the middle of the whole thing and find a little festival somewhere. Anyway, Doug Lambeck gets the solo shot here in competition eliminator. He clicks it off a little early, goes 569 on the 576 index, and Doug Lambeck solidifies his spot in the trophy run for competition eliminator, as we will then bring out the two that are vying for the opportunity to take on Doug in the final round of comp eliminator. Once again, racers, like we said, it's pretty much the all winners, all categories time. We got a lot of attention over here. Looks like under Mark Buring's cone, we got a little fire. They're trying to get the car to turn over and get that fire to go out. So on-track activities continuing between Scott McClay and Matt Dahl. Dahl getting the advantage here as Scott McClay shakes the tires, but McClay gets by him. 474 on the 511. Scott McClay. We'll get the win light and we'll move on. Matt Dahl goes 508 on the 542, and I'm kind of watching like what's happening to the track, what's happening here under the arch. And wow. So it will be McClay and Lambeck in the final comp as we get into top sportsman. Jeff Gillette pulling up on the left side, and Mark Buring, who had all kinds of just unwanted fun and excitement here under the arch. Well, it was one of those things that couldn't quite see, but from where we were at up here in the tower, Mark Buring garnered some attention with a small little fire under the scoop. They got back here, had kind of a fire extinguisher at the ready. They were trying to get the fire put out. And finally, one of the crew guys said, look, go ahead and squirt it. So they squirted it, put the fire out. And then, of course, we're all sitting here going, well, now that we've got some extra fluid in there, is the car even going to fire up? And well, luckily enough for Mark Buring, it fired up. He's got a 458 dial. He is over on the right side of the racetrack, and we'll see if the crane operator out of Texas, that 712 cubic inch 2010 bodied Cobalt, can get it done against Jeff Gillette. The Indigeni Reserve Ride, the 2006 bodied GTO. 448 up on the scoreboard, 1/10 of a second, the split between the two dials. Red light start for Mark Buring. After all that excitement, he got a little yippy on the starting line, let it go 21 thousandths of a second too soon. And that will do it. Jeff Gillette was also headed towards the red light, but Mark Buring moved first. The red light was on the right side, and Jeff Gillette is credited with the win. 007 would have been how far ahead Jeff Gillette was of the green light had Mark Buring not left first. Gillette goes 451 on the 448. There's Joe Stannard. So Ken Ratzloff. Ken Ratzloff, Joe Stannard. Stannard makes a move outside the groove, swings it back in like a jet fighter, but it's going to be Ratzloff. 449 on the 447, 152 miles an hour at half track. After he was 015 on the tree, Stannard had the 041 bulb. But a 466 on a 464, not going to be enough, and Ratzloff gets the Studebaker to the stripe first by 27 thousandths of a second. As that'll bring out Dean Hall and Jeff Connolly. Connolly in the Camaro for Landmark Iron. Don't get me wrong, I like the Camaro. I think the Camaro's great. I like the truck too. I like the ride that Connolly puts out there in that little S10, but Camaro seems to be performing well. He's dialed in at 415, Dean Hall and Team Corbell. Lining up over on the left side, 449 for the Donovan built 627 cubic inch motor. Once again, what, Super Street, stock, Super Comp, Super Gas, I mean everybody, it's a, come on back. Jeff Connolly has to get out of the throttle and still gets the win light. Oh, Dean Hall is going to be sick. 034 on the tree for Dean. Got there first 0.5 of a second. And breaks out 447 on a 449. I know Dean was fully anticipating Jeff Connolly to be there. Connolly was not. Dean Hall breaks out, and Jeff Connolly with a 470 on the 415 gets the win light and will return. So it's going to be Jeff Gillette versus Jeff Connolly on one side, and it's going to be Marty Castagno. As Castagno has done the burnout and pulled forward, and Jeff LaFlamme is still sitting under the arch. Unfortunately for LaFlamme, could not get the car to fire up and pull forward when it was time, and so Marty Castagno will get to move forward on a solo shot. .456 is the number that Castagno is looking for. And I'm sure that it's not much consolation, but Castagno 005 and then goes 457 on a 456. So unfortunately for LaFlamme, they're going to have to call it a day here just before the semifinals, and we have now been through our first full rotation of everybody. For the rest of you who are still in competition, again, it is a chill 'em, fill 'em, and bring 'em back. And again, the chill part should not be that difficult this morning. They should be, they're probably chilled by the time you shut them off and get to the top end of the shutdown area. So we should have our Super Street, Stock Eliminator, Super Comp, Super Stock, Super Gas.
Everybody.
All y'all. Go ahead and come on back. Pretty much, guys, at this point, I am listening to Reinhardt and Mr. Rice have their conversation, and at this point, we're not even worried about rotation. Chill 'em, fill 'em, bring 'em back, and as soon as you're in the staging lanes, we'll just put you in line and send you down the racetrack. So, like, for example, Super Street, you guys are rolling up here now. If your finals are ready to go and we're still, like, running, just come on. come on up. We'll put you in the rotation. We'll send you down the track. You guys can load them up and start heading back to whatever your destination may be. But as soon as you show up, we'll pair you up. We'll send you down the racetrack as soon as everybody in your category is there. How about that? Super Street is rolling up this way. For their semifinal matchups.
Stock Eliminator, come on down. We need you. Super Comp, definitely need you. We got an extra lap in there. Super Stock. Come on, come on, come on.
All right, so Ryan Giacone and Dave Thompson. Ryan, who actually had a little bit of an interesting time after the break yesterday. We had kind of that weather break as we've got 695s on the board for Super Street. Giacone was coming up for the time run. The car died on him. And believe it or not, he had to rely on somebody going back to his pits, found out that he had a really bad ignition. Got that swapped out, showed back up the continuation of eliminations, and we'll end it here as Dave Thompson gets it done on a double breakout. Thompson in that shameless 55 Chevrolet, 694 on the 695. He's 7th thou under the dial. Ryan Giacone was 14th thou under the index with that 693 on a 695. Thompson was 003 and finds his way into the finals of Super Street. There's now Dan Bain and Trevor Larson. Larson for Pro Blast out of Minnesota. We've already got one bunch of Minnesota racers that are really kind of hanging tough in the cold weather because they're used to it. Yeah. I mean, we got an all Minnesota. We're guaranteed a Minnesota racer in the finals of motorcycle. We'll see if we get another Minnesota racer out there or not. Dan Bain from right here in Las Vegas, trying to protect the home turf. Does. 697 beats 698. Trevor Larson was 007 on the tree. Dan Bain had a 13 thou reaction time.
Dan Bain is a transplant in Kansas.
Dan Bain is a transplant from Kansas. He got tired of that weather too. Rolled out here. Dan Bain moving on by 4 thousandths of a second. So we know it's Thompson and Bain in the finals of Super Street as stock eliminator. Rolling out from under the arch, we've got Chris Ashley, the photo lady, and Gary Emmons, who, as Alan Reinhardt had said, is just extending the Emmons brothers' vacation. Well, last weekend it was like the Terry show. This weekend it's been the Gary show. 2 weeks ago was the Gary show. So when Gary, Terry, Gary. At India it was Jerry and Terry? Jerry. But this time it's all Gary. That's who we're talking about now, is Gary. Chris Ashley is like, I am so tired of hearing about the Emmons. Let's just put this to bed. The photo lady out of Chandler, Arizona. Rolling up on the left side in that H-stock automatic 90-bodied Camaro. 735 is the dial, getting a decent head start over Gary Emmons in the 14-bodied Mustang. The 302 under the hood for the Texas-based car, dialed in at 572. Head start goes to Chris Ashley once they get him in, staged, and set up. And then Dwayne Scheitlen has got kind of that front row seat to watch and see who he will be taking on in the final round. Will it be Chris? Will it be Gary? The answer will be known soon. Both drivers leaving the green side. Gary Emmons' car moves around on him at the head. Can he run down Chris Ashley? Wow. Chris Ashley gets to the stripe first by 0.05 of a second and breaks out by 5 thousandths of a second. 734 on the 735. Chris was 10 on the tree. Gary Emmons was 041, moving around like a madman, and comes out with the win light. And that solidifies the Division 4 championship for Gary Emmons. Just moved around Jeff Lopez to claim it. All right, so for the Emmons family that's sitting down here, Alan Reinhardt is doing some math in his head. That is the, hey Emmons, you guys may know this. Yeah, they may not. That is the 121st time that an Emmons has been in a final round. Still looking for a first win. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. Just keep hoping. 121st final round for an Emmons. Oh, I mean, to be fair, they've kind of, swarmed the place. But still, that's impressive. So Dwayne Scheitlen rolled up. He took the green light, backed out, headed back into the pits. That takes us into super stock, and we are talking Justin Lamb and Todd Haste. Justin Lamb in the Cobalt. And Todd Haste in Cal and Marianne Method's Nova. The Nova's dialed in at 684. The GTM automatic, Justin's Super A. Stocker, the 2010 Cobalt. Justin Lamb's got the 565. The Nova's down 684. Todd Haste is in and set. Justin is there. A couple of weekends ago in stock, it was the Justin Lamb show. Can he get there now in super stock? So far, so good. How about trip zip perfect for Justin Lamb? Todd Haste was certainly no slouch with a 008 reaction time. Haste goes 6.83.3. Got to the stripe first by 26 thousandths of a second. breaks out 7th thou. Justin Lamb moves into the final. There's now Jim Grossi and John Irving. A 2-for-1 winner is racing for the trophy. John Irving talking about defending the home track. Dialed in at 669 on the right side. He's away, he's green, and Jim Grossi is red by 7 thousandths of a second. Jim Grossi Jr. turns it the wrong color at this end of the racetrack. He goes 586 on a 585. John Irving goes 667.8 on a 669. Irving is in to the semifinals with the solo shot. So we talked about John Irving racing his way into that solo shot for the final. Jimmy DeFrank is trying to race his way into a tie for the Division 7 Super Stock Championship. 576 is the number up on the scoreboard for the 2010 bodied Cobalt on the left side of the racetrack. And for Jimmy, it's going to be like, could be, Division Championship number 421, whatever it is. The guy has just got a ton of them out there. Mike Logie dialed in at 714. Right now, Brian Bozart is like a massive fan of the 72 Barracuda. Over on that right side of the racetrack, we're off and away. Mike Logie's car moves a little bit to the right, and Mike Logie lights up the scoreboard. Jimmy DeFrank's charge for the championship is stopped. 1 round shy of pulling up for the tie. Mike Logie gets the win light. 7:15 on a 7:14, was 20 on the tree, and will come back to take on Justin Lamb. But for Jimmy DeFrank, the charge gets stopped a little bit short. That means that Brian Bozart can breathe a little easier. So that is clarification on that. They were tied coming into that round. So now it comes down to the tiebreaker. And Mike will go figure that out.
I believe they've only raced once.
All right, so correction on that. Looking at the sheet, Jimmy was tied with Brian Bozart.
That would have won it flat out.
That would have won it flat out. Now they're going to go to the tiebreaker and figure it out.
I know they've raced once. They're going to check.
So we'll go back and take a look at that. So we got Super Stock rolling this way. Super Comp is rolling into the water box. Super Stock, Super Gas. Again, you guys are part of all y'all. So Super Stock, Super Gas racers, we need you. Back into the lanes, please. Come on down. Super Comp. I'm sorry. We did just run Super Stock. Look, all y'all. Come on. Come on. I mean, it was cold by the time it got to the top end of the racetrack. I don't know. Right? See? Alan knows what I'm talking about. You can't get 2 laps out of a tank of gas because they're just running 8th mile and it's cold. I mean, by the time, heck, you could have turned around at the scoreboards, come back and run again. There you go. Get to the top end, we'll just load everybody up at 3 and 4. All right, Super Comp 575 is the index. Steve Kasner and Mike Lane. 2-4-1. Winner's going to be Kasner. 577 on the 575. Steve Kasner gets the bye run to the final. Kasner will be back, and the never rest guy is just not resting. He's making his way to race for the Wally. Mike Lane was 15 on the tree and goes 580 on the 575. Steve Kastner was 24 on the tree, goes 577 on the 575 to get the win light, as now Tim Parker and Tom Bayer will be our next two. Bayer on the right side, Parker on the left side. Colorado versus California. 575 is the index here in Super Comp. There's essentially the four cars left down there between the starting line and the water box are all like, I want Kastner in the final. They still got two more win lights to turn on before they can get there. Light start for Tim Parker. Parker by 15 thousandths of a second bows out of competition. Tom Bayer 0.28 on the tree in the Alta Loma. Race instructor goes 573 on the 575 to get the win light. So Bayer will match up with either Lori Warden, former student of the Tom Bayer School of Drag Racing, or Jack Sadler. Sadler from here in Las Vegas, the plumber out of Henderson. And as we've talked about, for the Las Vegas folks, got several of those staying in competition. Minnesota folks got several of those staying in competition. And the winner is going to be Jack Sadler. 30 on the tree for Jack, 30 on the tree for Lori. Identical at this end of the racetrack. Lori gets down to the stripe, gets there first by 33 thousandths of a second and goes 574 on the 575 index. Ends up 1 hun under the number, taking a 3 hun stripe and bows out. Jack Sadler was 30 on the tree, goes 577 on a 575. It'll be Sadler versus Bayer on one side. It'll be Kastner with the solo shot on the other. And that will be that.
Hey y'all, Emily Volkman here from Service Department Solutions to talk to you automotive dealership principals, service, and parts managers. Service Department Solutions is an automotive consulting group who can help you maximize your service and parts operations and your bottom line. We will submit a factory warranty request to your OEM for reimbursement of labor and parts markup according to your individual state statutes. We've dealt with all manufacturers and know how they will treat you. No dealership is too big or small. We handle them all. Maybe your guys need a little extra training and some new processes implemented. We've got them and can provide that extra push to help your winning team. Stop by the trailer and see us. Visit our website or call 412-651-2356. We're here for you 24/7.
Ultronics, the leader in performance electronics. Racers know and depend on their state-of-the-art systems every day. Perform Air Pro and Perform Air Eclipse are the racing industry standard, high-tech, easy-to-use weather systems. Power-Light lithium batteries, the super powerful lightweight energy source for your machine. And the Data Quest Power Quest, the most innovative data recorders and touchscreen switch panels you can find. Check out ultronicsinc.com for these products and more. Ultronics, the choice of champions.
Racing is a risky sport. Don't take risks with your racing operation. On or off the track, protection from LODRS Motorsports Insurance is not a risk. Get your quote today at LODRS Motorsports Insurance.
Super Gas getting ready to roll in next. 5 cars left in the field. Marco Paravelarvis going to get the bye run. Joe Fisher and Daryl Mitchell going to duke it out for the bye to the finals. So a big twofer here. I know Angry Tom sitting at home listening in. At least I hope he's home. Had to make a venture to the hospital yesterday. Treated him more like a pincushion than they did a patient. But anyway, John, we're all praying for you. Get it well. Let's see if Joe can give you a little get well medicine here. Joe's up on the right-hand side. The Ohio-based C7 Corvette, and Daryl Mitchell on the left got the Cavalier Roadster. That rare option. Back in 03. Very few people do about, by the way. Roadsters a pair. In fact, I think we've got nothing but Roadsters. Not in Super Gas. I think there's this thing in a rule book called left-hand steer. Oh, I know. You can steer with your left hand, right? Okay. Gotcha. Thanks. Daryl Mitchell hung a little bit of a right turn leaving. That opened up the door for Joe Fisher. Picks up the win. 6:44 to $1:15. 6:56 for Daryl Mitchell. 108 miles an hour. So Fisher going to the final round. Now what I got to do is figure out amongst the other 3 Roadsters who he's going to run in that final round. Steve Williams up on the left, Gary Cook on the right. Early model Corvette's a pair. One late model Corvette. Cook moving around a little bit, and Steve Williams straight and true, 6:44 at 123 miles an hour. 48 by Gary Cook at 114. So Steve Williams will be back, and he'll be coming back to run Marco. Marco comes pulling in the Padella-powered Camaro Roadster-bodied machine for the runner out of Petaluma. And we are down to 3. Steve Williams taking on Marco Paravelarvis. Marco shuts it off to 6:58. And they'll duke it out to come back and run Joe Fisher in the finals of Super Gas. Again, racers, if you're in, you're in. Need you back to the lanes, please.
Howdy. DMP awnings. Let me just say that again. DMP awnings. I have them everywhere I go. There's one following me around now. You can't see it, but it's up there. I'm probably going to have one tonight if the girl... God bless you all, and DMP awnings.
Allergies? Did you know that most vehicles have a cabin air filter that should be changed yearly? This helps prevent dust and allergens from entering your vents into your vehicle. The same goes for your air filter. This helps prevent dust and particles from entering your engine. Get yours checked. Make an appointment today. Call 702-735-7315 or visit us at tedweens.com.
Greg Mocha, you're gonna take the wheel.
Hey, Clint Rigby, thanks for the email, or thanks for the text. Just think what we could do with one more car in there. Cars left in the top dragster category. It's going to whittle it down to a 4 semi-finalists. Ken Moses and Michael Roel. Raleigh. I'm going to get it right one of these days. Michael Lynn on the right-hand side. Racecraft chassis machine, 398 the dial. Kenny Moses on a 440. On the Las Vegas side of the track. Again, racers, if you're in, you're in. We'll take you back to the lanes. Finalists, semi-finalists, whatever. You're still alive and kicking. Let's keep you going. You're in, you're in. Need all y'all. Back to the lanes, please. Finalists, semi-finalists, come on down. Give them a charge. A little splash of fuel, and by the time you get back, they'll be chilled down just about right temperature. Michael in right, Kenny on the left. One of them going to the final four. Better out of the gate, Michael in. So is she. 402 at 163, 447 for Moses at 151 miles an hour. So Kenny's day comes to a halt. Michael Lynn keeps rolling. She's down to the final four. Mark Simmons and Gene Eaton going to do battle, see which one of them comes back to run. Michael Lynn in the semifinals. On the left, down from Vancouver. Simmons all the way out of Medicine Hat, Alberta. Spider electric machine. The APD car over on the right-hand side on a 402 for Simmons. He's locked in on a 443. See who the best prognosticator is. Off and running. Heat the better line. Heat the win. 445 on the 43 at 157. 4011 on a 402 by Simmons. He was late on this end, tried to make it up on the other end, and as the old adage goes, two wrongs don't make a right. Three lefts will get you there, but two wrongs won't. Todd Sefton on the left. Eddie Open comes rolling in. We know these two are going to do battle, duke it out to see who comes back to run Jeff Havens. We had 7 cars left coming into this session. We're going to whittle it down to our 4. Donnie on the left, another Washington-based runner. Open on the right, down from Utah. 432 for Ed, 434 for Don. This was going to be like the Raiders and Chargers game this afternoon. They pick 'em. Kid racers, if you're in your end, back to lanes. In your end, need you back to the lanes. Woodlight's going to go to open. 432-1 on a 432 dial. 435 by Don on his 434. Great race down track. 17 thou between them at the finish line. Open 20 at the hit, dead 1. 28 at the hit and a hun over on the Las Vegas side as Jeff Havens comes rolling in next, finishing out the trifecta. Havens rolling in, and he will be back. Evening things out, goes 442-1 on a 442. How about Jeffrey? 006 dead 1, a 7 foul pack to put him into the semifinals. I was getting ready to say, you might want to save that one for the next round. Or the next round. Of course, you got to get through the next round before you can get to the next round. Sportsman Motorcycle quarterfinals coming up. 3 bikes left in elimination. Couple of boys out of Minnesota, where it's probably warmer there today than it is here. Cameron Belisle and Donnie Dernberger, the Minnesota bunch. Couple of D5 competitors. I don't know how many bikes were in the trailer. I think it was 6. Might have been 5. 1 trailer, 6 bikes, and 1 motorhome. Whew. Some tells me I don't want to be in charge of cleaning up the motorhome when it gets back. Cameron on the left, 578. Donnie on the right, a 628. One of the Minnesota riders going to the finals. We know that for a fact. Donnie off and running. Dernberger wants this one. 008. Oh, and he gives up the stripe. Runs 636 on a 628, 580 by Cameron. On his 578, Dial takes 16 thousandths margin down there at the other end of the racetrack. And Dernberger, boy, his Kawasaki is going to be saying words like, golly gee willikers, son of a gun, gosh darn it. But Belial going to come back to run like Moda. Minnesota taking on Utah. The finals of Sportsman Motorcycle. They'll be back in just a bit. Again, racers, if you're in, you're in. Need you back to the lanes, please. Put a zap in the battery. A little splash in the tank. Coast down the hill. That'll help chill them. Moda works his way through. Runs 962 on a 960. Excuse me, 562 on a 560. Yep. Still adjusting the brain here to the 8th mile numbers instead of the quarter mile numbers. Our finals. Stock Eliminator. Getting ready to roll in next.
Since they couldn't hear you before.
Yes.
Who's down there? Jerry's down there, right?
Yep.
Jerry, you know how many final rounds you guys have as a family? Guess. How about 121? Dwayne Scheitland doesn't have quite that many, but he also doesn't have 4 brothers. Which car you like better, Bob?
I'll take either one. Whichever one you don't want, I'll take.
Well, I'm about as Ford can get, but I've been looking for a 1970 Challenger or Cuda for a long time. And the 446 pack version that is as clean as Dwight's, that would be me. Dwayne. Him. I like it's Dwayne Scheitland, so I did the Dwayne and the Shy, and so that's where I came up with it. And you guys going to go to the Classic Dodge. And Emmons with the blower Mustang. Let me tell you something. You know who had a good year this year? The guy who builds the trophy cabinets down at Emmons Motor Company. He had a good year this year. The guy who builds trophy cabinets at Don Schumacher Racing had a good year this year. The guy who builds trophy cabinets for Randall Anders had a good year this year. Our first Sunday winner, after crowning the alcohol champs yesterday. The monochrome black and white activity, both of these on the green. Dwayne Scheitland out there in the Dodge. Here comes Emmons. Scheitland gets the win. He runs 646 on a 645. Gary Emmons runs 571 against the 573. Won the war, lost the battle here in the final round, got there first, and broke out by 11 thousandths of a second. They were 2 thou apart in reaction time. Dwayne runs 1 over the dial for the win. And congratulations to Dwayne Scheitland as he picks up divisional win number 2 in his career. Super Street rolling in now. Final round. Dan Bain, Dave Thompson. Somebody is going to double their trophy count right here. And it's going to be Dan, because by 23 thousandths of a second, the red light comes on for the green car and the win light comes on for the Camaro. Dan Bain goes 696, 118 miles an hour, and he picks up win number 2 in his regional career. And oh, just for the record, Dan Bain's reaction time, minus 004. We have seen how many times As we go now into Superstock. Racing to figure out who's going to come back and run John Irving. Will it be an all Dodge affair? Or will Lamb Chop take down Mike Logie and come back and run John Irving? We will know soon. Difference in handicap is like a second and a half. Isn't that ridiculous? In an 8-mile race, the 340 72 Barracuda is going to get the big head start, and then the Lamb Chop with that A-modified stalker will try to catch him. Looks like we got Top Sportsman back there. How about Comp Eliminator? Come on down. Super Comp, we got an extra round to you guys. John Irving says, I don't need no practice. Ugh. Not good. 569 for the win for Justin Lamb, 112 miles an hour. Mike Logie missed the bulb. When you give up a tenth of a second starting line advantage to Justin Lamb, he is not going to give that one back to you. Not now, not ever. So it'll be Justin and John as John Irving pulls up and takes the tree. Looks like Top Sportsman getting ready to roll up to the arch. Need comp? Need super comp. There's extra round of those. Just gas them up, bring them on back, gang. Everybody, gas and go time. Top Sportsman semifinals under the arch. Marty Castagno and Ken Ratzloff. I figure at this point we're pretty much all familiar with everybody, right? After we've seen him 4 times today and 14 times in the last 3 days. Not a whole lot of handicap going on here. 1100s. So we got a couple of classic body styles, and we got a couple of swoopy late modelers. We'll have one of each in the final round. They will stage when they're ready. Don't rush me. Red light start. Ken Ratzloff. Marty will run for the trophy. 458 on a 459, 154 the speed. 448. Ken Ratzloff runs dead on 8. After being red. 002. Marty Castagno dives into the final for the 3rd time in his career. And he's going to race former division champ Jeff Gillette or Jeff Conley. Now, Jeff Conley's dialed in at 440. Wasn't he dialed in like 4.0 something earlier? Okay then. Apparently Jeff has decided to that is Conley, decided to give Jeff Gillette the first chance to red light and then try to wheel race him down there. Interesting. Gillette, Barry Pauly, Darren Seeley, former division champs, and the #1 qualifier, Jeff Conley. There is a 57 Chevy in one of your futures in the other lane. Ends up being a double breakout, a 000, taking 3 thou for Jeff Gillette. Holy smokes. Jeff Conley goes 014, 438. But Gillette, trip zip, takes 3 thou and takes the win. Come and get you some of that. I give Jeff Conley credit. It was an interesting strategy that he took a swing at and came out on the wrong side of the double breakout. When you're 0-14 on the tree and you're locked out of the race, it's like, doesn't really matter what your strategy is. It's like when your girlfriend's mad at you. It doesn't really matter what your strategy is. She's still going to be mad at you. Let's see. We got cars in the lanes back there. Looks like a comp final. Looks like super comp. Looks like super gas. Top dragster, need you back, please. Come on back, quick as you can. Let's wrap this baby up. We got Super Gas and Super Comp semis ready to rock. So top dragster as quick as you can, please. Then we'll be down to finals. Hand out trophies, take pictures. And start thinking about 2021. Doug Lambeck is pulling up, and Scott McClay seems to be having a little problem getting the car to start. It is cranking over. There we go. And now the Dodge comes to life and died. For Scott McClay, they were cranking it. I heard it fire up. He reached up and grabbed the shifter and it died. Oh, you got to be kidding me. You can't get this far and not even get a shot at it. And now it starts and dies. Scott McClay. Unbelievable. It'll start. It will not stay running. And Lambeck is going to idle up and take the tree. Scott McClay's got some kind of a gremlin down there that we heard it 3 or 4 times. It would start, but it just wouldn't run. And whether it's some kind of an ignition issue, some kind of a fuel issue, my bet would be ignition. But Doug Lambeck takes the win. Okay, Unc, we're gonna play trivia. Doug Lambeck, you have to pick a microphone to play trivia. Okay, buzz in when you think you have the answer. For Doug Lambeck, that was final number 38. 38 final round on the division level. Who has more than that? Buzz in when you think you have the answer.
I bet his dad.
His dad. His dad has 42 final rounds.
Got some work to do.
Doug Lambeck just won his 23rd divisional event. Guess who has more than that?
His dad.
His dad. But he's closing in.
He's getting there.
That was number 23.
Does that mean we may see Bob back behind the wheel before we even know it?
Well, you know, when the kid catches him, he might decide, we got to do something here. But that was his 38th final round, his 23rd win, and his dad still has more. But he's getting closer. He is getting closer. Congratulations to Doug Lambeck. Absolutely hate it for Scott McClay. I mean, come up, fire your shot, take a chance, and whatever happens, happens. But have some kind of a gremlin down there that would not let the car stay running is heartbreaking. So Joe Fisher is going to race whoever turns the scoreboard on here. We got a Corvette, we got a Camaro, and we got another Corvette. Marco Peravalaris and Steve Williams. Yeah, not bad. When you're talking Division 7, a couple of the real players here. Red light start for Williams by a thou. Marco's idling down the racetrack saying things inside his helmet like, ha, 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 ha. Well, that's Marco. He's just that kind of guy. 1187 for the win, 48 miles an hour. Joe Fisher pulls in. He's just going to take the tree. So in divisional competition, Marco Peravalaris has 3 trophies in the case. Looking to add the 4th. Guess how many Joe Fisher has? 3. Looking to add a 4th. Bob's pretty good at this trivia thing. Finalist set. Super Comp. Semifinals. Under the Arch. Hopefully, Top Dragster's pulling in back there, and looks like they are. That's going to be our last semifinal. And then it'll be trophy time. All right, Joe Fisher's in the staging lanes ready to go. Come on, Marco, what are you doing? Come on. Come on. Kasner's going to go first. Then we'll find out who's going to race him. Speaking of the Lambeck family, and Bob still having more finals and more wins than Doug, you know what else Bob has done that Doug hasn't done at the divisional level? 1 pro stock. Yeah. Now that's going back in time. Kaz goes 006, 576, or Doug. Steve goes 006, 576. He's in the final. Steve Kasner, final round number 19. Will he race Tom Bear or Jack Sadler? I will let you know. Bear on the left side. Sadler on the right side. The instructor. Trying to teach a lesson. Jack Sadler's not exactly a young whippersnapper, but they very deliberately stage up. Very deliberately. .576 beats 575. 013 taking a thou is Tom Bear. Jack Sadler goes 021 dead 7. And he was just wasting gas. 576 for the win. Tom Bear's in the final round against the Kaz man. Top Dragster waits patiently under the arch, and then this will set our final, and then all we'll have to do is run the finals. Finally. we're going down the Bob Lambeck Victory Lane Tour. He has won in stock, super stock, modified, comp. Dear Doug, you got a lot of catching up to do. He actually beat Doug in the final one time in Seattle a couple of years back. Meanwhile, back on the starting line, we've got Gene Heaton, who is driving Megan's car, and we got Michael and Raleigh, who is driving, well, Michaelin's car. Heaton dialed 444. Michaelin dialed 397. Start for Michael Lynn. Then it sounded like her car went into neutral down there. 445 for Gene Heaton. 0031 above, a 13 thousandths overall package, and Gene Heaton in the final round against one of these two. Yes, sir, you can set your watch by it. Gene Heaton goes to the final round once every 10 years. His second ever final round, and credit where credit's due, he's undefeated in final round competition. Jeff Havens and Ed Olpen for the right to come back and run Gene. And then it'll be trophy time. We got our Super Stock final under the arch. Looks like Super Street is back there. Looks like motorcycles back there. Ed Olpen, the right side, says he can run 4:31. So Jeff Havens is going to get the head start. I do like the bull snort nitrous purge, as opposed to just the one. I like the psh, psh. What do you think? Is there enough time in an 8th mile race to spray and dump? I think that's Jeff's plan. One last little purge. Head'll roll in, go blink, blink like he always does. Drop the hammer 12th out too soon. 4:31 on a 4:31. Let's see, didn't we just have a 13 pack for the win? And Ed Olpen puts up a 13 pack for the win. So our final is set to be a tie. It could happen. Okay, probably won't, but it could happen. Lamb Chop and John Irving. Interesting little fun stat here. John Irving has never lost a final round. 3 for 3 when he makes it this far. Justin Lamb has lost a final round, but then again, he's been to 40 of them. Lamb Chop in the left side, Irving in the right side. Couple of Las Vegas guys. Both feel like this is my house. And that's a red light. John Irving just punched his own ticket with a 400s red light, 565. 122 miles an hour for Justin Lamb. And Justin picks up divisional win number 29. I wonder if Ryan is listening today. Motorcycle time. Larry Motor left. Cameron Bilal right. Utah against Minnesota. Battling out here on a warm Las Vegas afternoon. Okay, morning. Okay, cold. Okay, get off my back.
Last I checked, it was 23 degrees warmer in my house than it is.
Yeah. Should have been here last week when it was beautiful. Probably never heard that traveling around racing, right?
I was there 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
when it was beautiful.
You were here 2 weeks ago and you couldn't finish the race. Suzuki in the left side, Kawasaki in the right side, bumping in ever so gently. Just like that, Cameron Bilal, 5.802, 116 miles an hour for the win, 558 for Larry Motor. Reaction time started with a 1, got their second, and broke out. Congratulations, Cameron Bilal on the win. Top Sportsman getting strapped in back in the staging lanes. We need Top Dragster, Super Gas, Super Comp, and that'll be that. Hey, Doug Lambeck, can you hear me? Doug. 3 more and you'll tie your dad. 3 more wins and you'll tie your dad. But you still haven't won in modified and you haven't won in pro stock on the division level, so you still got a little bit of work to do. Just saying. Just saying. Between the family, 80 final rounds. 39 wins. Pretty impressive resume down there. I just hate that we didn't get to say race in the final round, and I guarantee you Doug feels the same way. He wants to race somebody for it.
Ultronics, the leader in performance electronics. Racers know and depend on their state-of-the-art systems every day. Perform Air Pro and Perform Air Eclipse are the racing industry standard high-tech, easy-to-use weather systems. Power-Light lithium batteries, the super powerful lightweight energy source for your machine. And the Data Quest Power Quest, the most innovative data recorders and touchscreen switch panels you can find. Check out ultronicsinc.com for these products and more. Ultronics, the choice of champions.
Jeff Gillette on the left side. Marty Castagno on the right. Dialed 900ths apart. With a head start going to the 57 Chevrolet. Marty Castagno, undefeated in final round competition. Been here twice, won twice. Red light start for Gillette. Marty is undefeated, 3 for 3. 457, 152 miles an hour for the win, 610 for Jeff shutting off to 75 miles an hour. He was 005 red. Marty was 007 green and takes it to the house 3 times in the final. 3 times he left with the trophy. All right, hey, listen up in the pits. If you are pitted north of the main grandstand and you would like to stay this afternoon, this evening, you need to move your trailer south. They're going to start moving in for a big dirt track event this weekend, and they're going to need that space. That is kind of the pit area parking space. There's also a trailer up there, North Carolina tag AF as in Adam Frank 95340, and that needs to be moved because the dirt track racers, and I'm sure you saw a lot of them staged out there in the parking lot this morning, are going to start moving in and getting set up. So if you would like to stay overnight tonight, that's fine. But you need to have your trailer parked down like in the main grandstand side. If you are north of that, where you're pitted now, you're just going to need to move your trailer south to open up that spot up on the top end. We have got 3 final rounds left. We'll get them gathered up in the staging lanes, and then we'll run them off. And we'll put this baby in the history books. Music, Warren. At this particular moment in time, they each have 3 wins at the divisional level. And either Marco Paravalaris or Joe Fisher is about to get number 4. I'm curious, if somebody builds the new 20 Corvette Roadster body, come on, Joe, you're not allowed to do that. Is it going to have to be mid-engine? Fisher, part of the Racing RVs family. Marco, his sister Lela down there. On the left side. Both drivers get away on the green. Whoa! Fisher's car makes a move at the top end of the racetrack, and a 636 for the win for Marco. At 133 miles an hour, Joe Fisher goes 646. At 109, Marco was 0-10 on the tree, runs 1 above the dial, and at that point, Joe was pretty close to locked out anyway, but that thing took a hard move down there about 400 feet. And Marco picks up win number 4. Without Lela, he would have a grand total of none. He might have lucked into 1. Looks like we got Super Comp back there. Looks like one of our top dragsters is back there. And then we will be officially finished. And here comes Super Comp. Tom Bear left, and Steve Kasner right. Kasner, who showed up late, made 1 time run and then dove into the field. Now made his way into the final round. 575, the magic number. Under some pretty gloomy skies here at the strip. Yeah, it's definitely looking a little extra gloomy over there on the left. I was so annoyed at my weather app yesterday, and then Nathan said, "Oh, did you see the weather station is down?" And I went, "Oh, that would explain it." Red light start for Tom Bear. By 1.5, it's over, and Steve Kastner just going to take an idle down victory lap. 870, 67 miles an hour for the dub after being 018 on the tree, and the Kaz man picks up divisional win number 13. And there are 2 cars left in the 2020 season of the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. Gene Heaton on the left side, driving Megan Molinari's car. And Ed Olpen in the right side, driving his car. They need a bumper sticker for the back of that says, "My other car is a big brown truck." .444 the number for Gene Heaton. .431 for Ed Olpen. That might be the number of his truck. Remember the old "We Want to Race the Truck" campaign? He's going to race the truck. This is it. No rush. Yeah. We don't have to stage up till March. Somebody will run out of gas by then. Heaton lights the top. Ed Olpen will roll in, go blink, blink. Sooner or later, it's over. A red light for Gene by 0.02 of a second. Ed Olpen goes 001 for the win. Win number 19. And there you have it. The Lucas Oil 2020 series is in the record books. On behalf of everybody at the Strip, the National Hot Rod Association, it's been a tough year, but certainly appreciate the cooperation and the support of all the racers and race teams. Travel safe. Enjoy the holidays. Spend time with your family. And hopefully next year we won't need nearly as much whiteout on our calendars. We come back and do it all again in 2021. For everybody at the Strip, everybody in the NHRA Division 7 office, thanks to Bob. Thanks to Nate.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks to Warren for putting it on the web. Travel safe. Have good holidays. And we'll see you again before you know it.